Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeroen Van Gils, and I'm a lecturer or student coach at the University of Applied Science, or as we call it, Hogeschool Utrecht in the Netherlands. And I'd like to tell you something about how we use Odoo in our education, which is business IT and management. But before I do that, I'd like to share a small story of how I got here. Well, not on the stage actually, but to this location. I work in education now for about 4 years. And before that I had a career in consultancy, software development, analysis and project management, and so on. And before that I did actually the same study as I'm lecturing now, business and IT. And I don't remember any ERP education on that on that subject, but I do remember a field trip that I did to a production facility, and that was I think an aluminium factory. And we went there, and I was amazed by how IT could support those production processes or the stock management processes and everything. And it would stay with me throughout my career. And I try to give that to my students every time. IT is there to serve a business and to serve business goals. So that's sort of a personal mission for me. And a bit of a spoiler, I think Odoo is a good way of making that happen. So that's that. I'm wondering, who of you works with students or actively is engaged with students? Okay, quite a few. I'd love to hear your stories on what you're doing. Is it ERP education as well? Or is it? I don't, I'm going to talk to you later. Okay, that's... I'd love to talk to you later about what you're doing and what's working for you. For my story, I work at the University of Applied Science. I worked at the Institute for ICT, which is one of the larger institutes at the Hogeschool Utrecht. And we have about 2,300 new students, active students, and about 500 new students every year. The students have an introductory semester first and can choose one of 6 specializations, one of which is business IT management, and it consists about data, business processes and IT, and how IT can solve business processes. And we have about 50 students every year. It's a bit on the rise now. So our students are first year students, so they are between the age of 16 and 25, mostly 18 till 20. And most of our students are male, so we have about 75% of our students are male, as you would recognize from computer science. But last year we had 25% female population, which is quite a lot if you look at IT studies. But still, we're looking for more women in IT. In general, the general student cannot be typically specified, of course, but in general, our students like IT. They like the opportunities it provides, but they're not that big fans of programming. So they like to use IT for business opportunities. And also they're in the first year of their study, so they do not have any working experience, or it's fairly safe to say they have not seen the actual inside of a company when they start with us. Our Institute for ICT has created a student journey in which our students work in 8 half-year semesters towards their end goal, a degree in a bachelor degree. And in that, they work increasingly independent. So we aim to do that. They do that in a collaborative way, and we want to do that as much as possible with working with the professional field. And that's why our partnership with our Odoo, what's happening, is very useful. Our students are in the 2nd semester, so they're learning the basics. And the basics about business fundamentals. And it is all about what a company does and how a company works. What is an organization? What is a business vision? How can IT support a business vision? What are the processes that are in between? And so they're typically working with process analysis, the business vision, a greater goal, and how IT can support those things. So in the second year, the students have field assignments, so they work with actual companies and actual projects. For our students in the first year, we do that with a fictional project. So we try to keep them safe as possible, and then when they're in the second year, we allow them to go into the field and talk to actual owners. But now we are the owners, and give them the assignments. We have been using ERP and CRM. We have been educating that for over 20 years. So I dug into our archives and talked to our Nestor, as we call him, our ERP godfather, and he told us we did already do that education for 20 years. And the fun thing is, fundamentally it has not really changed that much, which is quite unique, I think, if you look at IT from IT perspective. But ERP fundamentally has not really changed. The form and everything has changed. And this is actually an image that I dug up from our archive, and I think it is the education module. What we try to do is we give students hints on where to go, where can you find actual information, and learn for yourself and try it out. So we have been using Odoo since version 7, I heard. That was 2015, so that's quite a long time. Before that, we have used other ERP and CRM software. And what we found out was that Odoo was specifically easy to use with students if you want to show the headlines of how ERP is helping companies. So you do not have to set up complex master data or accounting details or anything else. You can just start using, create a customer, create a product, and sell it. We always have knowledge, and we always connect a project to that. So students have to show what they're doing, have to demonstrate their skills, and they have to sell their solution that they're doing. So that's how we are working. For example, one of the projects was they had to create a drone factory and do all the processes from marketing, purchase to production, and they had to create a whole service line for that. So we've done that for over 20 years, actually. Yeah, that's what I thought. Recently we had a change of our education system. Before it was all small courses, so we had an ERP course, a CRM course, and we changed it to larger courses from 30 EC, European credits, like a semester long. So one course with multiple subjects, and we had to integrate the business systems or ERP and CRM knowledge into a greater context. It gave us the opportunity to do that. So what we did for that semester is we have students create a fictional company. So an actual company that they can work with, they can create a business vision for, they can create a customer target group, and they can just sell their products to. And last year we did cell phones, the year before that it was shoes, this year it's chocolate. We tend to take products that are tangible, that they can really produce, because I think that's more fun and they can relate to that more easily than a service environment. We use a educational business game for that, so they can compete against each other. It creates a big market with all the teams in there, and they get points for the business decisions they make, and we can give them extra points for the products they make. So they can compete against each other, and especially when they've just started, they're amazingly enthusiastic to beat the competition actually, and to do good in this assignments. In this project, we have an IT component, of course, because it's an IT, it's a technical study. And we create a scenario. Sometimes we do it with a case. Sometimes we let them have interview us about what the situation is. And well, I call it the Jurassic Park. It is Excel all over the place and inefficient communication. And one of our products is a BPM lifecycle. And BPM is business process management. And what we ask the students is to analyze the current situation, which is a mess, and create a business process flow of that, show it in a diagram, indicate problems with that, describe a future situation, which of course has a nice ERP solution to it, and then actually go ahead and describe that or create that solution in Odoo. So they can get the full cycle there, and we call it a BPM life cycle. So what do they create? Well, we ask them to create their own company, so naturally we want them to create a website on which they can sell products. And well, this is an example of the cell phones they have. And they have to create a collaborative working environment in which they can invite the whole team to join, and they can invite us to demonstrate it to us. And of course, after that, they have to create a pipeline, a marketing pipeline, and they can integrate the website with the marketing pipeline, so they can shuffle leads from the left to the right and to indicate which deals have been won. We want them to set up a production environment, so solutions for stock management, solutions for production, quality management, and everything. And of course, we want them to do procurement and everything as well. And service funnels. And every time we want to, we have an open component in the project, we want them to amaze us with the opportunities they deem appropriate. So they have their own business vision, so please amaze us with what you can find. And some of the teams, we can get really creative solutions out of that. For example, one of our other products that we asked them to create is something with the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. One team decided to incorporate those development goals on the website and create a presentation for that. So we like that. And some other teams decide they can add an AI chatbot for service management and lead acquisition. So we leave them free to create whatever they want. So what do they say? Well, some of our students like working with ERP, and some of our students really hate it. And well, I'm not quite sure what's there to hate or what's there. So I always talk to them. Well, what don't you like? The most part it is they think it's overwhelming what they see. So they see a lot of modules and they see a lot of buttons that they can choose, a lot of things they can go into. In general, they do see that it's interesting to work with an ERP system, and for some students it is relatable to their side job. So they work at a supermarket, they think, oh, stock management, that looks sort of what we're using. Or they get a paycheck, they can relate to that as well. What they do see is if they don't practice at first, then they cannot contribute to the team project later on. So we try to make sure to that, and we also say to the team members, well, make sure the other team members come along, so that's easier to do. So in general, they are on right away, they can start right away, and they create all kind of nice solutions for us. And here are some of the things that we've found useful for them in the years that we've used Odoo. So the first thing is, we want every student to individually practice first. So we want everyone to set up their practice environment. Odoo has a great licensing module where everyone can create their own environment. So they set up their own website, and since it's available, we ask them to follow the scale-up game, or a selection of modules that we deem appropriate. So they go through all the cards that are there, and everyone is aware with the scale-up game that is there. Yeah. Okay. So we ask them to follow all the cards, and we want them to do that individually, and we want to make sure that everyone knows the basics of what they're doing. For the first couple of modules, we decided to create handouts or click-throughs, because for our population, which is the first year students, they found it pretty difficult to locate all the different modules and to navigate through what they're going to. So we had some instructions, but we reduced them gradually, so at the end they have to do everything their own. We also monitor progress quite closely. We want to make sure that every student knows or is at least going in the right direction. For that to happen, we ask team captains to have a look at what their team members are doing in order to collaborate to the real project. It is quite a good way for the team captains to have a look at what at the team members. And also we asked our students to create screen dumps at a couple of strategically chosen locations, so they can show us what they have done, what they have set up. So they can help each other, so we can help them, so that collaborative environment. Also, if they don't know anything, the first thing all students do is, sir, can you tell me what's wrong here? We also instruct them first to look at all the online libraries that are available, or the videos, and that's quite a good way. If they do that right away, they can start doing that when they have to do it on their own later on for the project, and they have to search everything. Then they can they know where to start. They know where to find it. Another thing we did was linking the theory that we have to practice. And we do that all the time and immediately. So this is an example of a business model canvas, or a BMC, by Osterwalder. This is one part of our theory. It is how a company works in one page company overview. And it has a customer segment, a production segment, and a financial segment, and all the places they can do that. We asked the students to create one for their business, of course, because they do have to know what they're going to sell to whom, and how they're going to do it, and how they're going to pay for that. What we also do is link the Odoo modules on that plate. We map them all the time. So CRM is at the right side, so the customer side, and on the left side we have the production and the inventory, etc. And they're all linked together in one big database. Another example is for the bill of materials. When we have the theory like that, we explain a bicycle has wheels, has frames, everything on. Immediately after this, we have an assignment, and I basically tell the students, open up your laptop, go to your Odoo environment, install the production, and create one of your own, and just find out how this works. And that works quite good, because, well, some students find it, some don't, but in the end they help each other, and they know where to go, and they know where to go afterwards as well. Same thing for work orders, production orders, etc. So we integrate theory and practice in the same lessons. And this is an example of the BPMN. Well, you can't read this, but they show the different lines, different actors that are doing the steps, and they can indicate the problem areas and show which systems are in use, etc. So we try to do that continually. As the lessons now separate theory lessons or practice lessons, we combine that all the time. Another thing that works really well for us is making a real life scenario. So we ask students now to run a fictional business, but we want to make it as real as possible. For this, we have we use a business game, and this business game gives them a market to compete against each other. And we also want to make sure that they present their results at a board well, mostly it's us, of course, but if they present their results, then they can demonstrate it, then we can ask them questions to test if they really know what they're talking about, and also we can engage other students to help them out and to discuss, so the peer feedback is in there as well. Another thing we do, and there's the company, the ERP Open, and they're at the front right here. I'm glad with you. We work closely together with partners in the field, and if we, what we really like is it gives us opportunities to have guest lectures, but also, which is really fun. Have the students, if they have worked with Odoo for about 2 weeks, we ask them to do the presentation in front of what we call a Shark Tank. We have some of the professionals working at ERP Open, ask them sometimes mean questions about what they have achieved. And the students are really, well, they do not want to fail. If they fail in front of us, that's fine. But if they fail in front of a company, an actual company, they're really, well, they don't want to do that. So that's, I think it's a really good way to get them started. But I think it's a really good way to make them get to know the professional field as well. So I really like how partnerships is working out. We also had a guest lecture by one of the colleagues of Odoo this year, and he has shown us, it was quite fun. He did a scale-up game and he made students read out the cards of the game, well, they did not like that, but it was a good way to get them started with the tool as well. So we try to look at as much of those opportunities as possible. And last, what we do is we want to reward creativity. We always have an open component in our projects. So we have a couple of must-haves, some could-haves to indicate, well, you could have a look at that direction, for example, look at service processes, or look at how AI can solve this for us, which would be quite a nice touch. But we also say the board would like to be amazed with any other opportunity you may deem appropriate. So if you find something, go for it. And this really works for students if they have some amount of freedom. They can really, they really go on and they really want to find out and they really want to know more. So if they want to do that, we have to find a way to reward it, of course. In our case, it's easy. We can give them more points than the competition in the business game. But this, of course, could be an assessment criterion as well. Then you can grade higher or not. Some of the challenges we found, well, one I mentioned already. This is really intimidating to students. A page full of all kind of modules that they can install, and it's not that easy to navigate for our first-year students. If I tell them, well, go buy a product, they don't really know to go to the purchase module. They have to to learn that. So the number of modules can be quite intimidating. Another thing that we have, what I did in the beginning is just say to the students, well, we're working with Odoo, just start and create a new environment. That's not a good idea, as then you're basically DDoSing the whole server, so you might get them crash, which is not a great experience to get to know a new platform. So I always ask them 1 week ahead, go install in your own time. One thing students do not do. Each year we have a couple of students that are rushing through the solutions or trying to reach the end goal, which is the Odoo scale-up game, as fast as possible. And I'm always quite amazed that they actually succeed till some level, but they never. Well, the challenge there is, do they understand what they have done? And it is quite easy to find. If they're not reading the docs properly or the solutions properly, sometimes they miss a checkbox. A good example is a product. It can be a storable product. If you don't check that checkbox, then you have a lot of problems later on in stock management. When we see that, we know which students that are rushing to the solutions, and we can indicate, well, maybe you should read the documentation closely and maybe take a step ahead, or not so much. Sometimes we have differences in column names. So we have provided solutions. So we have to update them yearly, and that is some work. But sometimes a column name is one name or the other name, and that's I don't know how that works technically. Maybe you can explain that to me that later. In general, what we're doing. We're combining theory and practice, and we want to do that in a real-life environment. And we want to make sure students show the results, so they can present it to us, and collaborate with each other. And we want to collaborate with partners in the professional field, so that they can learn from that. And of course, we want to reward, so they have autonomy for their project. And this works for us. In the whole, and this gives us a great way of, I think, showing business value to the students, and so it helps me in my personal mission to make sure the students get that IT as a business enabler, or as it serves as a business. So, with that, I thank you for your attention, and I want to ask if there are any questions. No? That's good. Then thank you.